A Field of One's Own is a feminist political economy study that examines the relationship between gender and property rights in South Asia. It focuses on women's access to land. Agarwal argues that the single most critical factor shaping women's economic independence, social status, and empowerment is not merely employment but their ownership and control of productive assets, especially land. The book challenges the long standing assumption in development theory that households function as units of shared interest where resources are distributed equitably among members. Instead, Agarwal demonstrates that gender inequalities persist within households, with men typically controlling property and decision making power. She emphasizes that without independent rights in land, women remain economically dependent and socially vulnerable, even when they contribute significantly to household labor. Agarwal highlights that land is a uniquely important resource in rural South Asia. It provides not only livelihood and income security, but also social status, bargaining power, and protection against poverty. Despite legal reforms in countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, very few women actually own or control land in practice. This gap between law and reality is a central concern of the book. Agarwal adopts an interdisciplinary approach combining economics, sociology, law, and anthropology. She introduces a bargaining approach to analyze gender relations, arguing that a person's bargaining power within the household depends on their access to resources, fallback options, and social norms. Since women often lack independent property, their bargaining position remains weak both within families and in society at large. She examines historical and contemporary inheritance systems, including patrilineal, matrilineal, and bilateral traditions. While some communities historically allowed women property rights, these rights have often eroded over time due to colonial interventions, legal changes, and shifts in social norms. Even where laws grant women inheritance rights, social pressures, male dominance, lack of awareness, and institutional barriers prevent women from claiming them. The book also explores the distinction between ownership and control. Even when women legally own land, men frequently control its use, management, and income. Thus, effective empowerment requires not just legal ownership but actual control over land. Agarwal identifies multiple barriers to women's land rights: patrilocal residence patterns, resistance from male relatives, gendered social norms, administrative biases, and limited access to education and legal support. These constraints operate across household, community, and state levels, reinforcing gender inequality. The book documents forms of resistance. Women have participated in land struggles and grassroots movements, demanding rights to land both individually and collectively. These struggles reveal that gender relations are not static but contested and subject to change.